Before you spend another dollar on marketing, watch this. My name is Bailey Levesque and I'm the owner of Healing Path Marketing, and we work with health and wellness practitioners to help them grow their practices. I've been working in this industry in marketing for the last 17 years, and I've been helping health and wellness practitioners grow their practices for the last 5. So I really feel confident that I know what I'm talking about when people ask me these 8 common questions that we're going to go over together.
How do I know if it's time to hire a marketing agency instead of doing it myself?
So if you're considering hiring a marketing agency, there's a few things you want to ask yourself first. The first thing being time. Do I have the time, or does someone on my team have the time to do this? It is very labor intensive and can take a long time to really optimize ads, set them up, make new ad creative, make new ad copy. There's a lot of things that go into properly doing a marketing campaign to bring in new leads to your practice. So if you don't have the time, it's probably a good idea to hire someone else to do it for you. The other thing to ask yourself is money. Budget is a big consideration when hiring a marketing agency. First off, you have their fees, which usually range somewhere between $1,500 to $5,000 a month, and it really depends on the quality of the service that they're offering and how many different platforms you're going to be running things on. The other thing to consider is ad spend. So that's the money that goes directly to Facebook or Google or TikTok or whoever for the actual ads going out and being delivered to people. We used to see that $1,000 a month split between Google and Facebook was an okay amount of money to spend in order to get good results. Now we're seeing that being pushed. You definitely want to spend at least $1,500 split between both platforms. Sometimes we're seeing as much as $50 a day being necessary in order to get the good results that we want for our clients. The other thing to ask yourself is knowledge. Do I have the knowledge or the aptitude to be able to learn how to do this properly? Or does someone on my team have that knowledge? If you're in a bigger center with more competition, you're going to need to have a lot more knowledge of all of the tools, how the algorithms change, how to set up targeting, all of these little details in order to run a successful campaign. The other thing to consider being that with AI being introduced, it's making things a lot more technical, and actually in a lot of cases it's not more user-friendly than it was before AI came into the algorithms and into the marketing platforms. The last thing to ask yourself is need. Do I need to be spending a lot in order to get out in front of my competition? If you're in a big city, the answer is probably yes, that you're going to need to spend a lot more and hire some professionals to be able to stand out from the crowd. If you're in a smaller area, you probably can get away with just doing it yourself, having someone on your team learn a little bit about it, put a little bit of money in and get a decent return. So it really depends on what your area is and how much competition you have.
What's the difference between Facebook ads and Google ads, and which one is better for my clinic?
Facebook is what we call disruptive marketing. So we're capturing people who aren't specifically looking for you at the time when they see your ad. So if they're on Instagram, if they're on Facebook, they're scrolling through their feed and then they come across your ad, we're trying to create creative and ad copy that will stop them in their tracks and get them to engage and consider you as a potential solution to a problem that they're not actively looking for an answer to. Google is what we call intent-based marketing. So we're capturing people who are intentionally looking for a solution to a pain point or a problem that they have, like neck pain or back pain. So in those circumstances, you tend to get people who are ready to kind of commit and follow through. So we tend to find more quality leads on Google than we do on Facebook. That's not always the case, and that's not 100% true. It really depends on who you're really looking to target and what area you're in, how much competition you have for the ads. So we do recommend, if you're looking for a high volume of new patients and new leads to come in, we recommend doing Facebook and Google, and then you get the best of both worlds. People on Facebook, it's a lot of moms, it's a lot of family-oriented people, and a lot of older people who have a lot of pain points that they're looking for solutions to. And a lot of times they have disposable income to spend on services like chiropractic care. So we do recommend that people go with both if they can afford it. And if you need to go with just one or the other, it really comes down to your specific target audience, what you're offering, and what area you're in.
How much should I budget for Facebook or Google ads?
Historically, I used to find that people could get away with doing $1,000 a month split between Google and Facebook ads, and that would bring them in pretty good results and a really positive ROI. We're finding that things are getting more expensive, the algorithm is changing, and the cost per lead is just going up. So I'm seeing clients who were previously doing $30 a day need to start doing $50 a day in order to get the same results. In a lot of cases, though, I do find once we bump up to that $50 a day, they're actually getting better results than they used to before. So it's actually a positive change in a lot of ways. I know it can seem like a lot of investment up front, $50 a day, $1,500 a month, can seem really pricey, but I do find that if you're spending that much, you're going to get money back. As long as your marketing funnel and everything is set up correctly, your ads are targeted well, you're going to get a good ROI and it's going to be worth spending that much.
What kind of return on investment should I expect from a marketing agency?
So to bare minimum, you really want to be making sure that you're at least breaking even with any marketing that you're doing. Patient attrition is a real thing. 17% per year is the average patient attrition rate for chiropractic care. And so making sure that you're bringing in new patients and that you have a fresh cycle of people coming in from your marketing is really going to make sure that your numbers and revenue stays very consistent. Spending money on marketing, as long as you're breaking even, is always a good idea so that you're bringing in those fresh faces. With our clients, we typically find that 2.5 times ROI is pretty much the minimum of what we bring in for people. A lot of our clients, most of our clients, I would say, is the 4 times ROI mark for what we're bringing in for their spend and for their agency fees. I do have clients, however, though, that are making $1 million a year off of the services that we're doing, and that's over 25 times ROI. So it really varies. It depends a lot on what your package rate is, what the circumstances are of what you're selling, where you live, what your competition is. And for that client that's making $1 million a year, he lives in a large city, he has a high package value, and also the people that he's going after, he's offering a very exclusive service and a very niche service. It is paying off really well for him.
Can I just boost my posts on Facebook, or do I need to run real ad campaigns?
I get asked this a lot, and no, boosting posts is not the same as running ads. It's not what we do. So boosting posts is really only reaching people that already follow you or engage with your brand or know your brand in some way. So the reach is typically really limited. When you're setting up a Facebook ad campaign, you're reaching anyone in your community or anyone in the areas where you set up the targeting for. Think of it like boosting posts is taking a flyer and throwing it in the wind and hoping someone will catch it and be interested in what you're offering. Whereas Facebook ads, it's like taking that flyer and handing it directly to someone and telling them about your brand, who you are, what you offer, and helping them engage with you directly in a personal and authoritative way. So no, boosting ads is not the same as running ads campaigns in Facebook Ad Manager, which is what we do and what we offer.
How do I get my clinic to show up at the top of Google search results?
Every single client I've ever met has been concerned about how do I get to the top ranking on Google organically. So there's a few key things that you want to know. So your website is obviously the biggest part of that. With the algorithm and how Google works, you need to make sure that you are mobile first, fast loading speed, that you have everything structured and laid out appropriately. There's certain tools that you can use to optimize your website for SEO and to make sure that everything is designed and laid out the way that Google is going to be able to scrape your information and get you a higher ranking. The other thing to consider is adding in educational snippets, like keywords that are educational, answering questions, FAQs, or having a blog. That will really help drive traffic to your website, and that will get your score up. The next thing is to look at your reviews. So in order to get that top spot, you do need to have a minimum of 50 Google reviews, depending on how much competition you have in your area. But 50 is usually our minimum recommendation. The next thing is having a properly optimized Google business profile. So that's when someone searches you and your profile shows up on the side there, having correct information there, right hours, good reviews, having good pictures, good content. You can also post FAQs in there, and that will help to get up your ranking because it just helps build your educational authority on Google and when people search for your type of service. The other thing to consider is your NAP, which is a name, address, and phone number. Making sure that that's consistent across the board, whether it's on your website, on your social media, on your Google business profile, or any other places where you might be listed like Yelp or Yellow Pages. You want to make sure that that's consistent across the board everywhere. And the last thing to consider is your social proof. So having a good presence on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, wherever your audience really is and will engage with you, you want to make sure that you have some social proof because that helps raise up your score and drives more traffic to your website.
How important is blogging for my practice, and what should I write about?
I definitely recommend having a blog on your website. It's a great way to help to organically increase your ranking on Google. It's a great way to build trust and authority for people in your area, because if they're Googling a question and your blog answers that question, then you can come up and they'll be driven to your website, and then they're more likely to become a new patient for you because you're the person that answered their question and solved their problem. So I definitely think that they're great for having a call to action, and offering people a service at the end of each blog is really important. And you also want to be using it for good keywords. So you could do some research. You can use ChatGPT if you're not sure where to start, and come up with some questions that are being commonly asked in your area, and then you can write a blog using ChatGPT to help answer those questions. And I get asked a lot, what should I write a blog about specifically? If you don't know where to start, some good ones that are trending right now that you could write blogs about is tech neck and posture is a great one. People are always searching for, how do I fix this tech neck? I'm always looking at my phone. How do I fix that? How do I improve my posture? Is chiropractic care safe for children? Answering that question, that comes up a lot. And then the more common and popular thing that I'm seeing is a lot of people are looking for the connection between chiropractic care and mental health or nervous system regulation. So having blogs where you can be an authority on that and answer those questions can be really impactful for helping rank up your Google ranking organically and driving people into your practice.
What kind of video content brings in new patients?
I definitely recommend to all of my clients that they start making video content. Video is a great way to get people to feel comfortable with you, to understand what you look like, sound like, what your mannerisms are like, and it just helps people to feel more comfortable. It's also a really great opportunity for you to build a lot of trust and authority and help people to understand your knowledge base, because you are really knowledgeable. So giving them videos about tips where you're showing them stretches or you're showing them how to sit properly with good posture is a good place to start. Videos about techniques, if you have any special techniques that you use, Gonstead method or the Weber method, anything where you can show off something that's unique to you and showing them what it's going to be like when they come in for care. Also doing videos where you help to explain what the new patient consultation process is going to be like, and then doing office tour videos, things that help people understand and feel comfortable with your space and what the process is going to be like can go a long way for a lot of people. So show them the parking lot, show them the front door, walk them through, introduce them to the team. That can all be really helpful and really valuable to showcase in a video and help build some good engagement in your socials. Lastly, I recommend people do patient testimonial videos. So you have your patients saying from their own mouth what their experience has been like, how you've changed their lives, and how you've helped them improve them. That goes a long way in making a referral to get people to come in and be interested in starting care with you. So start your videos. You want to have a good visual hook. So try doing something where you zoom in or zoom out, coming in and sitting down for the first time, or you're walking out of the scene, having captions, making sure that you have really good lighting and a good mic so that your audio is really good. And then always end your videos with a call to action. So invite them in, get them to subscribe or follow you, or get them to sign up for your new patient special, something that gets them to engage with you further after the video's ended. If you liked this video and you found it helpful, please subscribe below and follow along. We're going to just keep giving you more tips and techniques and marketing advice on how to grow your practice.